I have to say that from what I've heard last night, quite possibly some structural engineering work might need to be done with the Olympia Theatre. There were reports that the balcony was actually shaking. How did you find it?
Well, I mean, it was definitely a rocking gig. I don't know about shaking the foundation to its very core, but I have to say that was amazing seeing people. I didn't realize there was 3 balconies till the show was over, and I looked up and I was like, Christ. You know, there's people all the way up there, so the whole place was full. It was great energy, you know.
Of course, tonight then, this is the final gig of this current tour.
Right.
How does it feel to have come to the end?
Well, I mean, it's only a month. That's a cakewalk. But this particular tour, I have to say, Eastern Europe is how we started with Eastern Europe. So that in February was an experience. You know, I've never worn more than anything but jeans and sweatpants and a t-shirt for forever. And I actually had to wear thermals and a jacket with a hoodie with a scarf and all gloves and this whole nine. But I'm telling you, this whole tour, from Poland and Russia and Czechoslovakia and then on to Scandinavia and the Netherlands and Ireland, it was just like the crowds have been insane. It's been one of the most gratifying tours that we've done so far.
You had an interesting Master of Ceremonies last night as well. Mr. Sheen showed up for a little while.
Yeah, I mean at one point he said he was going to come out. He wanted to go to I think it was Prague, and he said he was going to come out, and he never came. And I was, that's Charlie, you know, no big deal. Anyway, and then all of a sudden, at the very last minute, he sent me a text saying, I'm coming to Dublin. And all of a sudden, he was here. And it was like he flew all the way here just to see us play, you know, one set. And we do a version of Rocket Queen, which is very improv, stretched out kind of thing. And he loves that. And so he came and he introduced the band and you know, watched the show, and I took him out to Lily's afterwards.
Yeah, you certainly seem to have an interesting night. How was Lily's? The queen of Irish nightlife, you made it there.
Yeah, well, you know, Ronnie Wood turned me on to Lily's back in like 2000, something like that, when he and I did a UK tour back in the day, and he brought me to Lily's, and I met all kinds of really cool, interesting people there. So I've been going to Lily's ever since then.
Obviously, in a place like the Olympia, you've toured massive stadiums, huge places. This is very different, very intimate kind of gig. What does that do for you yourself when you're playing which are still massive sounding songs, but in a smaller, more intimate venue?
I think you know, it's a long answer. So. Yeah. But it's great. It's great. It's very humbling and gratifying to be able to play in a stadium. To have that many people think that you're good enough for them to pay for tickets to go see you in the midst of 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or 100,000 people. But there's nothing like the theater circuit. It's the best. For me, like, we've been doing a lot of arenas, and even in arenas, you know, I long to get back into a theater. So this venue is fucking great, because it's just, I was thinking about it while we were sound checking. I like to have the people right there, so it's like, it's a much more personable event, but it sounds better. And it's just, you know, it's like, I'm really thinking that if the band's doing well enough to start playing in arenas and stuff, I'd rather play multiple nights in a theater than doing the arena thing. You know, I don't need to prove anything.
Yeah, very true. Some people I know that were in the crowd last night, and you talk about that being up close and personal kind of experience, could see Myles turning to you at one stage and kind of saying, wow, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah. Well, we actually do have like moments on stage where we notice certain things and talk to each other and stuff. And I mean, it's just a great sounding room, and the crowd is completely uninhibited. You know, it's an Irish crowd. You know, they know how to have a good time. It's a Saturday night, you know, or Sunday night, but it's a weekend, and they just know they don't go there to like sit there and stare or anything. They go there to have a really great time, and it makes the band feel that much more at ease. And so then, you know, this band is a lot about the interaction of the audience. That's what rock and roll is all about, as far as I'm concerned. And so it was a very, very warm kind of a gig. So.
Speaking about the band, about Myles, about that relationship, that chemistry, that performance that's there now, is Slash in a pretty good place right now?
Yeah, no, things are really, really good. We've been, you know, I mean, we started in 2010, and we've managed to really sort of carve out a little niche for ourselves, and people seem to know who we are at this point. And I'm working on some really, really cool material for the next record. And so after Myles does the Alter Bridge cycle, we'll go in the studio next year and get another record out and just keep expanding on what we're doing.
And that's fantastic. That's really what people want to know. So now that you've found this sort of level and this particular place and the songwriting that comes with it, this is something that's going to progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best situation I've been in a really, really long time, where everybody just wants to play. Everybody's great players. There's no what I call unnecessary hassles that just come out of idiosyncratic bullshit. You know, it's like everybody just wants to work, and we have a really good time doing it, which, you know, I've been in some really cool bands, but there's a lot of you know, over the years I've learned there's a lot of really unnecessary stuff that goes on that sort of hampers what it is that you're out there to do, you know.
It has been claimed on that, you know, this certain tension that happens within bands and all that sort of thing, that can add to, you know, the end product. I suppose what you're saying there, so, is that it's not always the case.
I don't believe in you know, tension for tension's sake. If there's tension about something, I don't know whether it hinders or enhances the music. I've never experienced that, like, where I could define it, you know. But I think a lot of people love to see the drama, you know. But I don't think it's really conducive to getting shit done. I like to be able to get on with the guys I'm working with and really just focus on playing. I don't think any of the other shit really, for me anyway, is very inspiring.
The last night of your ridiculously long 1 month tour, what is it like when you're fine? Last night you had Charlie Sheen introducing you, but just when you're about to step out into that spotlight, for you at this stage, given all the things that you've just said and the great place that you're in, what's the buzz like?
It's really about, I mean, I get really not paranoid, but nervous before I go out. So once that moment comes where we're walking on stage, it's all about first getting going. And then you start to find the rhythm of what the show is sort of going like, and then you sort of fall into a pocket. But for the first 3 or 4 songs, I'm very sort of feeling it all out. You know,
aware.
Yeah.
But it makes for, as you were saying, then every show is slightly different, and that's an interesting point, that you do make adjustments each time that you go on stage.
Yeah. It's just something that is innately a part of what the band's sort of chemistry is every single gig is the gig of the moment. So we don't like walk into one gig and blow this one off and then look forward to the next one. It's all about the show in the moment that you're doing that night. And so I change songs around, I do this and that, whatever, just to keep it interesting for us, so that we don't play the same songs every single night, throughout the whole set anyway. And then so whatever happens that night is it's 110% into that evening, and we just go from city to city doing the same.
And finally, then, so you head home presumably after this. What is it like for Slash at home? I saw you tweeting about a Dublin shop called Knobs and Knockers the other day. You don't head to the Home Depot, I presume, and look after things at home like that.
No, we don't have anything as interesting as Knobs and Knockers at home. So no, Home Depot doesn't sound very exciting. I need a Knobs and Knockers T-shirt. Anyway, but. No, I'm going to go home, you know, get reacquainted with the wife and kids, because prior to this tour, we were out for like 9 months, pretty much straight. And so go home. I've got a movie that's coming out that I have to go see the final finished product. All the post stuff is done. And working on the material. Then we go back out in May and do an Asia run. And then come home again. And then we have another, looks like we have a leg in the U.S., in July. So there's a lot going on.
Slash, thank you for talking to us on Radio Nova.
Yeah, man, it's good talking to you.